One of the many areas of need for the Vikings this offseason is at cornerback. And amongst the rumorville of chaos, it has been reported that according to USA Today, that the Vikings have expressed interest in trading for Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. Outstanding in 2023, best season in his 4-year career so far, allowing a 51% completion rate on 100 targets, 0 touchdowns given up, 2 interceptions, a major piece to Kansas City's stout defense and a big reason why they're back-to-back Super Bowl champions. He was recently franchise tagged by the Chiefs, so they're looking to do a tag and trade situation. He, as in Sneed, will be looking for a big deal. He'll be 27 next year, one of the best corners in the league. I get it. If you are banging down the doors to trade for this guy, if you're a Vikings fan, I understand the infatuation with L'Jarius Sneed. The cost, what would it look like, not just in money, but draft compensation? Well, Albert Breer speculated on that, saying, quote, "This is just a guess. The Chiefs get something done with Chris Jones within a week. Jones wants to stay there. Kansas City wants him around. There's been progress. I have to think there's a common ground to be found on this one. That will likely mean star corner L'Jarius Sneed gets traded. I bet he fetches a second-round pick for the Chiefs and gets himself a deal worth more than $20 million per year." So in addition to the money that you would have to pay Sneed in this hypothetical situation as it pertains to the Vikings, you would also have to give up pick 42 in the process. Now the question then becomes, should the Vikings do it? Maybe. For me, under one condition. Quite honestly, this scares the hell out of me, and here's why. This is a critical offseason for Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, not just for the fact that they need to find a new direction, but it will also reveal, I think, who he is as a front office executive. More on that in just a second. But when you think about the top cornerbacks in the league, they are almost always supported with a pass rush and a disruptive defensive line, anecdotally speaking. Pro Football Network, their list of top cornerbacks in the league. Jalen Ramsey in Miami, disruptive defensive line led by Christian Wilkins. Sauce Gardner with the Jets, Quinnen Williams, Jair Alexander. Kenny Clark with the Packers, Darius Slay. My goodness. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox. Trayvon Diggs with the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Denzel Ward with the Cleveland Browns. They have a disruptive D-line with Myles Garrett, Marlon Humphrey, Baltimore Ravens, Justin Madubuike, DJ Reed, just talked about Sauce Gardner with the Jets, and even L'Jarius Sneed. Add Trent McDuffie to that as well, both very good corners. Who do they have up front in Kansas City? A reigning back-to-back first-team All-Pro in Chris Jones. How does that relate to the Vikings and the critical offseason for Kwesi Adofo-Mensah? It's not about the mistakes that you made in the past. You have your processes as a general manager. That's fine. But then you have the results. And someone that's analytically driven like Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, I know people like that. Numbers they can't escape that. Numbers make their eyes twitch. What are the results of your processes? Obviously, 2022, that was a bad draft class. Last year, you decided to have, and this isn't me going off on Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, he has the opportunity to learn. Are you going to allow pride to get in the way, or are you going to learn from your mistakes and get better? I'm going to choose to believe that he's going to go through door number 2. But last year, when it came to the interior defensive line, you decided to roll with Dean Lowry as a starter, Harrison Phillips out of position at nose tackle, and a combination of Jonathan Bullard and Khyiris Tonga. And I'm going to throw Marcus Davenport in that as well. Not interior defensive line, but he's a pass rusher. The warning signs were there from the jump. And what were the results of that orchestration? Well, I'm sure that an analytical GM will appreciate analytics. According to Brett Coleman, the worst team in the league last year in interior D-line pass rush win rate was none other than the Minnesota Vikings. Think about how harsh we were at times on Byron Murphy Jr. This was our big signing last year. Inconsistent season in 2023, sure, but who knows how much better he could have been had he have had a defensive line worth a damn that could at least generate an average amount of pressure. We may owe him an apology. My fear is that trading for L'Jarius Sneed and giving him a big contract, giving up pick 42, and if Albert Breer is correct, in excess of $20 million per year, my fear is that he's going to be another Byron Murphy Jr. That we're still going to have problems with the interior defensive line. Danielle Hunter may leave, so that's going to make things even worse on the outside. I am for it under the condition, if and only if this is not the marquee move you make in the offseason, that Christian Wilkins, that you sign him. And then if you want to go ahead and trade for L'Jarius Sneed, okay, fine. Because I don't want him running around. Come on, man. Think about what these cornerbacks have to go through. No defensive line, no pressure generated worth a damn. And we're sitting here in our living rooms watching these games, opposing quarterbacks counting to 5, 6, 7 Mississippi before the ball is thrown. No cornerback can survive those conditions. If you sign Christian Wilkins, I'm all for it. But building a defense from the secondary down to the trenches, it's like if you work in construction trying to build up drywall before the structure and insulation is in place. It's backwards. Should they make this move, even if they don't sign Christian Wilkins? Would you do it? Trade for L'Jarius Sneed, 42's gone, $20 million per year, figure out the D-line later? What say you? Your thoughts in the comments section below.